Welcome to Notable Approvals. I am attorney Amanda Shaffer. Before we get started today, quick reminder, don't forget to like us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are watching. Hopefully, I am louder today. Got a nice new little mic set up. If you can't hear me, please let me know. I would appreciate it. And if you find this video to be helpful or know someone who may, please go ahead and hit that share button. So we got a quick case today. Just something I want to talk about because we get a lot of people calling and asking clients and potential clients alike if we can expedite certain things. And the last notable approval I did last week, I believe, I talked about how I was able to get a visa immigrant interview, tongue twister, expedited. And then right the next day or so, we found out that we were able to get an asylum interview expedited. And that is another thing that is really rare. So I thought it'd be interesting to talk about. So this is a client who is a native and citizen of Guinea. She filed for asylum over 3 years ago and has not had an interview. And if you're wondering, yes, that is pretty common right now. In October of last year, she hired us to represent her, and we had to mail our notice of appearance that were her attorney 2 times to the asylum office because they never confirmed that they received anything. Unfortunately, the client's father is dying. He has a bunch of things: coronary heart disease, aneurysm, heart failure, pulmonary embolism, and hypertension. As I said, she's from Guinea. He's actually now in Mali. So she was afraid to travel on an advance parole travel document until her asylum interview. She was hoping that she wouldn't need one, that she would just get granted at the asylum interview, which is possible. And those of you who didn't know, if you have applied for asylum and you're not in removal proceedings, then it's technically not a refugee travel document. It's called an advance parole travel document, different and the same in a confusing way from another type of advance parole travel documents that you may get if you apply for a green card or if you have DACA or something. But essentially, it's the same thing where it lets you go abroad, return from abroad without abandoning the underlying application. But as opposed to for adjustment of status, where you don't even need to give a reason, basically, if you ask for it, you get it, just like the work permit. When you're an asylum applicant, you need to give a good reason. So what's a good reason? A humanitarian reason. What's a humanitarian reason? It honestly generally involves dying relatives or attending a funeral or something. However, with how fast they move, attending a funeral can be tough to get it approved in time. Regardless, we're not here to talk about the advance parole document, just about the asylum interview. So she gets granted. What happens then? She gets granted the asylum interview. Then she's an asylee immediately, or whenever they send the decision. And she will need a refugee travel document to travel then, but it is a safer way to travel because if she was out of the country and they called her for the asylum interview, she takes a risk that, obviously we're representing her. We would ask them to reschedule, but they don't have to grant a reschedule. They can deny it. And if that's the case, she's not getting back into the country. So, she wanted to minimize risk. If she gets granted asylum, which we're really hoping, she then applies for the refugee travel document. And you don't even need a valid passport with that, because the whole idea is you shouldn't have to step foot on your country's soil again. Even going to the embassy in the US is considered stepping foot on your country's soil. So she I was basically asking us, what else can we do? to get this asylum interview moved up because she has a strong asylum case. On 8/2, so August 2nd, 2023, so beginning of this month, we emailed the Newark Asylum office with a statement from our client about her need to expedite the interview so she can travel to go see her father. We also included a doctor letter that contained her father's diagnosis, prognosis, and treatment. Those three terms are very important for doctor notes whenever you're dealing with immigration: diagnosis, prognosis, treatment. And basically explain like she wants to see him before he dies. And earlier I discussed all of the different, or I mentioned many of the different diseases that are, or illnesses that her father has. I knew that because of the doctor's letter. So we asked them to expedite it so that she can go see him. I mean, if she doesn't get granted asylum, she's probably not going to go see him because she's going to be put in removal proceedings and then she can't get her advance parole document. So obviously we hope she does. So we applied on August 2nd, and on August 16th, so it was actually the same day I did the last expedite one, was when we got confirmation that the request had been granted. So that's only 14 days, which is honestly amazing for the asylum office. Good job, asylum office. Finally, what about everyone else waiting is the question. But so everyone out there was thinking, can you get my interview expedited for asylum, green card, naturalization, visa, whatever it is? The answer is, in certain cases, yes. The answer is always it depends, of course. But the more accurate answer is, if you have a legitimate reason, like that's a legitimate reason, then there's a very good chance they're going to grant it, and it's worth your time. And if you hire an attorney or money, and these expedite requests are not formal. We have to just kind of get somebody to answer them. That's kind of the hard part. So we're excited for our client. I believe her interview is in September. Hopefully, I'll be back in September to tell you how her case was granted. If not, we will definitely fight with all our might in immigration court for her, but it will definitely be a lot longer. So fingers crossed for her. Wish her best of luck. That's really all for today for notable approvals, although I can continue to talk if you want. But I'm actually going to do another video, another live in a minute, about a really important change USCIS announced yesterday. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are watching. And someone just asked a question on Instagram. I have a 204C and my case got denied. I recently got prima facie approved because of my VAWA. Does this mean that USCIS looked at the 204C aspect of my case along with everything else? So SPK to a run. I see your question. I will answer it very quickly because we're not really talking about that today. But you can contact me privately if you want to discuss it further. So those of you out there, 204C is the marriage fraud bar. It's when they decide that immigration says that you entered into a sham marriage, or in other words, only for the purpose of getting a green card. And it will bar you from filing any subsequent family-based applications, including VAWA. Getting the prima facie determination does not mean that they are determining your marriage was real. Unfortunately, it is just, as I describe it to all my clients, the first step in the VAWA process. You get a receipt notice, and then that they got it. And USCIS literally has like a checklist, and they make sure you have one piece of each evidence. So did you prove that you were married to a U.S. citizen or permanent resident? Yes. Did you prove that that person is a U.S. citizen or permanent resident? Yes. Were you a victim of abuse? Is there one piece of evidence showing that? Yes. Are you a person of good moral character? One piece of evidence that shows that? Yes. You get all of those things, you get a prima facie termination that says it was approved. You don't, they send a request for evidence. So we could talk more about your case. I'm not going to go into more details about it now, but the very quick answer, as I said, it does not mean that. It doesn't guarantee your VAWA will get approved. And your VAWA, I mean, and I don't even know if it's based on the same marriage, but the bar doesn't care. The bar just says once you find a sham marriage, you either have to get that decision overturned or you're not eligible for any subsequent family-based petitions, including VAWA, which I don't necessarily agree with. But it's not about my opinion right now. It's about the law. So thank you for asking that question. Like I said, please feel free to send me a message, contact information, Instagram. You can go to our profile page and on Facebook and YouTube. Geez, it's a rough day for me today. Our contact information scrolling across the bottom of your screen. And if you found this video to be helpful or know someone who may, go ahead, hit that share button. And thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in a few minutes.